Extreme decision on the line. Washington just bet its entire future on a 6'6" monster with a sacred mission. Protect the golden child at any cost. We're talking about a rookie tackle so vital that if he fails, we might see Daniels in hospital mode before halftime of week 1. But beware, his transition to the right side is as dangerous as a fumble in our end zone. This is Adam Peters' riskiest experiment, and it could give us eternal glory or unforgettable scars. Let's start with something making me seriously think about our team's immediate future and how it's completely changing the contract landscape in the NFL. Trey Amos, our 61st draft pick, remains unsigned. And do you know why? Because he wants a fully guaranteed contract like second-round picks, something that was unthinkable until recently. Now let me explain exactly what's happening here, and why this is much bigger than it seems. The Houston Texans broke tradition when they gave Jaden Higgins, the 34th pick, a fully guaranteed contract. This was a revolutionary decision that changed the game rules forever. The Browns immediately followed suit with Carson Schwessinger at pick 33. And now these are the only 2 second-round picks who have signed with their teams. Do you see the massive problem this is creating? Amos wants the same. And I'm telling you this, he has every right in the world to ask for it. Traditionally, only first-round contracts came with fully guaranteed money. But now we have 2 teams that have set a new precedent, causing a revolution across the league. But here's my deep concern. This young man participated in early off-season workouts and made a tremendously positive impression. The coaches saw something special in him. We're talking about a physical cornerback considered an absolute steal at pick 61. This is a player many experts had ranked much higher. But now I ask you, what happens if he misses part of training? Camp. This is a physical cornerback who needs time to adapt to the professional level. Every day that passes without signing is a lost day in his crucial development. The rookie season is sacred. It's when you develop chemistry with your teammates, learn the defensive system, and adapt to the speed of the professional game. And here's what really worries me. Some rookies have already hinted at their intention to hold out if their contracts aren't approved. Amos hasn't indicated one way or another, but the business side has taken complete control thanks to the money given to Schwessinger and Higgins. Adam Peters is in a delicate situation here. 30 other teams remain firm about not giving guaranteed money in second-round contracts. This is a league-wide battle of wills. Agents are pressing, players are united, and organizations are trying to maintain the status quo. But I believe if they truly believe in Amos as much as they claim, there's no problem in making his first NFL contract fully guaranteed. Why? Because we're talking about a player who could become a key piece of our defensive future. If he's as good as we think, the guaranteed money shouldn't be a problem. Timing is crucial here. Players report to camp next week. Each day without a resolution increases the pressure. Amos might not want to risk an injury until his contract is signed, which is completely understandable from a business standpoint. This will probably be easier to resolve for Peters than McLaurin's extension. The Commanders can't afford to let Amos lose time during his crucial professional transition. And if they believe in the defensive back as much as they say, there's no harm in making his first NFL contract fully guaranteed. But here's my most important point. This is setting a precedent that will change the NFL forever. If more teams begin to give guaranteed contracts to second-round picks, this will completely change the salary structure and future negotiations. We are witnessing history in real time. Time will tell what happens, but this is something Peters must handle effectively. We can't afford Amos to lose time during his crucial professional transition. And more importantly, we can't let this situation become a distraction affecting the rest of the team. Now let's talk about something that really concerns me for the 2025 season and could determine if we have an elite defense or a mediocre one. During the darkest days of Washington's previous regime, fans could rely on some absolute constants. Tress Way would be the most reliable punter in the league. Jeremy Reeves would lead the special teams with passion and heart. Terry McLaurin would be the best offensive player without question. And Jonathan Allen would proudly and honorably be the best on the defensive side, Way, Reeves, and McLaurin are expected to stay on the team, but Allen is now playing for the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm telling you this with all my heart. Allen wasn't just the best defensive player in Washington since his arrival in 2017. He wasn't just a Pro Bowler in the early 2020s. He was also a clear team leader. Twice. Nominated by the club for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. Now I ask you the million-dollar question. How do you replace a player like that? His dissatisfaction with the dysfunction in Dan Snyder's last days soured him so much that he couldn't rediscover his enthusiasm when team ownership and prospects began to improve. Injuries in 2024 played a role in his decline, but the writing seemed to be on the wall for several years. And here's what really hurts me. After unsuccessfully trying to trade one of the most decorated and longest-serving veterans of the club, Adam Peters decided to release Allen before free agency. This wasn't an easy decision. This was recognizing that sometimes you have to make hard choices for the team's good. So Washington enters the 2025 season with several new faces competing for playing time in the middle of the defensive line. Allen is gone, but his teammate of the last 7 years remains. Darren Payne will be looking to regain the form that took him to the Pro Bowl in 2022. Since then, Allen's former teammate dating back to their Alabama days has struggled to match that level. Now Payne assumes leadership of the defensive tackles group. This is a massive responsibility. He not only has to perform on the field, but also has to be the leading voice in the locker room, the role model, and the emotional anchor of the entire defensive line. He'll have help. Peters' biggest and most controversial free agent signing this offseason was Javon Kinlaw, the physically imposing tackle he knew from their days in San Francisco. Kinlaw has never fully lived up to his extraordinary physical potential, but he's still only 27 and may be entering his career prime. Peters has proven right in many of his bets so far. It wouldn't be wise to bet against him. And here's why I like this acquisition. If nothing else, Kinlaw adds massive size to the defensive line. That's something Peters aimed to do on both sides of the ball, perhaps to match the massive size of the Philadelphia Eagles' lines. At 6 feet 5 inches and 319 pounds, the former South Carolina star offers an excellent combination of strength and speed. This is a player who can occupy 2 gaps, collapse the pocket, and be a nightmare for opposing centers and guards. Second-year Johnny Newton is cut from the same. Though not as physically imposing as Kinlaw, he has exceptional explosiveness for a big man. He struggled with his health and adaptation to the NFL early last season, but felt more comfortable as the year progressed. And here's what excites me about Newton. He had moments where he showed exactly why he was selected so high. When he was healthy and comfortable, he was disruptive. He showed the ability to penetrate, pressure the quarterback, and stop the run. Newton is ready to form a potent three-headed monster in the middle of the line alongside Payne and Kinlaw. Of course, that relies on the right development this summer. These 3 players could be special together if everything goes well. After those 3, it's a total unknown. The Commanders have many other players on the roster. Depending on how you define the position, there are up to 7 other players probably competing for 1 or 2 spots on the active roster. Veterans Eddie Goldman and Carl Davis Jr. have the kind of size Peters and Dan Quinn seem to covet inside. Both weigh over 300 pounds and bring valuable experience. Davis stepped up in some big moments for the Commanders late last season and performed pretty well. Goldman, who returned to the league with Atlanta in 2024 after being retired for 2 years, was once a formidable nose tackle. If he is healthy and motivated, he could still be a force against. Like Davis, Jalen Holmes played some decent snaps for Washington last year. Viliami Fehoko Jr. played under Quinn in Dallas, so there's a level of familiarity. Both are probably better suited to playing outside, but have interior experience. Former Virginia Tech star Norrell Pollard has been hovering around the Commanders' practice squad for a few years. Significantly small for the interior, he's managed to hang on due to his speed and tenacity. It's hard to see him contributing as a standard defensive tackle. Still, Washington's defense under Quinn has been very creative in finding packages that can exploit an individual player's skill set. Peters signed Central Florida's Ricky Barber shortly after he went undrafted. He's a very powerful interior defender who practically lived in the backfield against weaker college competition. Whether he can do enough at the professional level remains to be. Of all the potential backups to Washington's three main interior linemen, Sheldon Day might be the safest bet. He's not spectacular. Day isn't especially big, nor does he have the lightning quickness some younger players. At 31, his best years are probably. But last year, Day had the highest Pro Football Focus grade of any defensive tackle currently on the roster. He's a veteran who does what is asked. That may be enough to earn him one of the precious backup spots for the Commanders again in 2020. I believe the Commanders' defensive fortunes in 2025 will heavily depend on the emergence of Kinlaw and Newton. If they shine in front of standout linebackers Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu, Washington's defense could find itself in the top 10 of the league. We're talking about a defense that could be special. If they fail, if they can't fill the void left by Jonathan Allen, the Commanders' defense will likely fall to the lower half of the league. And that would be devastating for our playoff aspirations. This is the stark reality. This group of defensive tackles is going to make or break our season. There's no middle ground here. Either we succeed and compete for a division title, or we fail and see another season of. And now we come to the news that really excites me about the future of this franchise, and could be the most important decision Adam Peters has made since arriving in Washington. The Washington Commanders aggressively and strategically addressed their offensive tackle position twice this offseason by trading for five-time Pro Bowler veteran Laramie Tunsil and drafting rookie Josh Connolly Jr. in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Like any first-round pick, Connolly is expected to become a cornerstone of the Commanders' offense for years, pairing with second-year quarterback Jaden Daniels as a pair of exciting young players who could secure the team's success for a whole decade. Now let me tell you this, and listen carefully. It was an easy pick for us to make, said General Manager Adam Peters after making the selection. Everyone was really excited to get him. And when Adam Peters says it was an easy choice, it means this player was his target all along. Coming out of the Oregon Ducks program, the 6'6", over 300-pound defensive tackle allowed only 2 sacks in his final college season and earned all Pac-12 honors as a result. But these numbers don't tell the whole story. Connolly was consistently ranked as one of the best offensive tackles in all of college football. You see what an incredible athlete he is for his size, said Peters. He's only 21, but very mature. He's already like a true professional. And when Peter says someone is like a true professional, it means the player has the mindset, work ethic, and maturity to succeed immediately in the NFL. Selected with the 29th overall pick in the draft by the Commanders, Connolly is expected to help fortify a front line that allowed 50 sacks in 2024. But here's the crucial context. That figure would have been much higher if Daniels and backup Marcus Mariota hadn't possessed the extraordinary athleticism they showed while under pressure many times last year. Daniels was sacked 50 times, but was able to escape pressure many more times due to his exceptional mobility. This means our offensive line was even worse than the stats suggest. Connolly is here to change that entirely. Judging solely from early OTA and mandatory minicamp snaps, Connolly seems to be splitting reps at right tackle with veteran Andrew Wiley, while Tunsil holds the left side. This will be an adjustment in itself for Connolly, after playing exclusively on the left side throughout his college career. The Commanders don't seem too concerned about moving to the right, though. He can play guard, and he can play tackle, said Peters in April. He even practiced at right tackle in the Senior Bowl. This versatility is exactly what you need in the modern NFL. And here's what I love about this pick. Peters and his staff were so impressed by Connolly that despite having only 5 picks going into draft weekend, they opted to make the pick rather than trade back and pick up more draft capital. If he was on the board, we weren't going to trade. Beck, Peters said at the time, it wasn't worth even risking losing him. This tells me everything I need to know about how they value this player. Now I ask you, isn't this exactly what we desperately needed? A young, talented, mature tackle who can protect our franchise quarterback for the next decade. Daniels is the future of this organization, and Connolly could be the key to keeping him healthy and productive throughout his career. But here's what really excites me. This wasn't just a reactive pick. This was a proactive pick. Peters saw an opportunity to secure the future of the most important position in football, protecting the quarterback, and took it without hesitation. The offensive line has been a problem for the Commanders for years. We've seen promising quarterbacks ruined by poor offensive lines. We've seen careers ended prematurely by lack of protection. Peters is determined not to let that happen to Jayden Daniels. Connerly has all the physical tools to be successful. He has the height, weight, arm length, and athleticism you need to play tackle in the NFL. But more importantly, he has the mindset and maturity to handle the pressure of protecting a franchise quarterback. And here's my prediction. Within 2 years, we'll be talking about Josh Connerly Jr. as one of the best young tackles in the entire NFL. This pick will look brilliant in retrospect. Connerly's development will be crucial to our offense's success. If he can quickly dominate right tackle and form a solid line with Tunsil, we'll have one of the best tackle duos in the league. This will give Daniels the time he needs to develop as a quarterback and for our receivers to run their routes. This is an investment in the future that will pay dividends for years. Josh Connerly Jr. isn't just a football player. He's the insurance policy for the most valuable asset of our franchise, Jayden Daniels. Look, these 3 news pieces tell us absolutely everything about the direction of this franchise and how Adam Peters is building something special in Washington. We have an unsigned rookie that needs resolution immediately because he's setting precedents that will change the entire league. We have a defensive line that must demonstrate it can function without Jonathan Allen. And this group's success or failure will determine whether we have an elite or mediocre defense. And we have a massive investment in protecting our future. Quarterback that could be the most important decision of the entire Peters era. Do you think Adam Peters is making the right decisions to build a legitimate contender? Do you think Trey Amos should sign already and report to training camp, or stand firm and forever change how second-round contracts are paid? Do you trust our defensive line can not only function without Allen, but thrive and be better than ever? And are you as excited as I am about what Josh Connerly Jr. can do for Jayden Daniels and the future of this franchise? I need you to tell me exactly what you think in the comments. This is our Commanders family, and your opinions not only matter, they are essential to understand how true fans see the team's future. If this deep analysis helped you better understand the complex situation of our team, if it gave you perspectives you hadn't considered before, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We are more than a channel. We are a community that lives and breathes burgundy and gold. We are fans who don't just follow the team, but analyze, study, and love it unconditionally. Stay connected, because I'll keep bringing you all the news, in-depth analysis, and exclusive perspectives you need about our Washington Commanders. And remember, this 2025 season is going to be special. I can feel it. We have the pieces, the leadership, and the vision to build something that will last years. Hail to thee, Commanders!